Hello, and welcome to the Underpaid Gamers Podcast. My name is Tony. I am with my friend and colleague, Justin.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk about the Destiny 2 live stream.
That's true.
Gameplay reveal.
Yep.
And we're going to do news afterwards. So if you're here for Destiny, welcome. Stay for the second part.
Yep.
Theme song.
Underpaid Gamers is the official podcast of underpaidgamerspodcast.com. We have a Twitter. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, all sorts of podcast streaming places.
If you'd like to find us on Twitter, we're at UP Gamers Podcast.
That's true. And if you've been paying attention, you know exactly what Tony's secret is. So there's that. Next, we also are on YouTubes. We're on the YouTubes, everybody.
I have a secret.
He has a secret, but I know what it is. Because you tweeted about it like crazy.
I tweeted a little bit.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
I also tweeted a funny picture of Captain America I made.
Yeah, and I was a little bit afraid.
It's from a movie.
Because I have students who are listening.
It's from Not Another Teen Movie, which I believe is rated PG-13.
Yeah, okay.
Could be rated R. I don't know. It's on TV.
Now we're talking about it. Either way, let's see what else we say.
You have students?
We're on Facebook.
I'm not going to cater to your
check us out. We have a Facebook page there. And then...
Twitch? YouTube?
We are on
Facebook?
Twitch. I already said YouTube. I already said Facebook. Yes, Twitch. We stream usually once a week, doing something. So yeah,
we're gonna do more, hopefully.
Yeah, but for now, just pay attention to Twitter, and you'll know when we're doing it.
So, like we said up front, we're gonna talk about Destiny 2.
It's true,
as we are both fans of Destiny 1.
We enjoyed it.
And we've talked about Destiny 2.
And for some of you listeners who've been listening from the beginning, you might say, Justin, Tony, you guys hate Destiny. You guys did the Where Is Destiny on Twitch forever.
Which we're going to do right now. Because I'm looking it up.
Which we got to. We like to watch the fall of Destiny there towards the end. But really, in our heart of hearts, we did like Destiny. It was a good experience. The raids were so much fun.
Destiny's 19th on the viewings of Twitch right now, yes. Sunday afternoon. We got a request to bring that back.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so
then
we're
I guess
doing
we can start doing it. Yeah, so, I mean, Destiny for me was, like, so much fun. Well, some of my favorite, I mean, I guess on the PS4, one of my favorite memories, if not my favorite memories, the first time we beat Vault of Glass with all our buddies. That was so much fun. And it was, like, the weekend that the raid dropped.
I don't remember that much. I think I was dead when we finally beat it.
I was so happy. I enjoyed it.
So I was like, man. And then, remember at the very beginning of Vault of Glass?
Yeah.
When you beat it and you wouldn't get transported anywhere, you're just stuck in the windscreen for hours?
Yep.
You had to go to orbit?
Yep.
Man. So many things have changed. We haven't played Destiny 1. So we both got the first and second expansion, I believe. Mm-hmm. And we haven't gotten anything since then.
Yeah.
So since The Dark Below, we have no experience with Destiny. So that's a whole year's worth of Destiny we're not familiar with.
That's true.
So we aren't the Destiny experts,
but
we are interested in it, and we both watched Destiny 2 live stream, and I'm sure we have thoughts. I have thoughts. I've also listened to an interview with the lead director behind it, and I can't remember his name right now, on the way up here.
Yeah.
So I have some more specific things to talk about once we get there.
There was a Fireteam chat with IG and went through a bunch of stuff together, too.
Is that what
which is what I was watching before this.
Oh, well, maybe that's what... Maybe we saw the same thing.
We may have.
Because I listened to the...
Was it IGN?
Yeah, Fireteam chat. Was it a live?
It was the one that they picked up right after the live stream.
Yeah, that's exactly the same thing I watched.
So I guess we watched the same one?
I listened to it. I listened to the podcast version.
Gotcha.
You did the video version. So you know what everybody looks like.
Yep.
So Destiny 2, the first reveal we got of Destiny 2 was the trailer a couple weeks ago of Cade and... the Titan guy.
we're struggling already.
Well, to our defense, there was no story in Destiny when we first started.
That's true.
There was no reason to know these characters' names.
Right. I mean, you never fought with them. You never... Like, all you ever got was quests.
Yeah.
And I never paid attention to them because they didn't seem like characters I needed to care about.
So I know Cade is the leader of the Hunters, and Ikora is the leader of the Warlocks.
Yeah.
And Zavarka or Ivanka or something like that is the leader of the Titans. And I don't remember his name. Because again, in Destiny 1, when we stopped playing, there was no need for that. There was 2, maybe 3 cutscenes in the whole game And now it seems like they're pushing for more story-driven features, at least compared to Destiny 1. But it starts off with Cade and the other guys having a rallying call, and Cade's like, do it for the loot, the other guys do it for glory, whatever.
Right.
And that was a very interesting start to our first impressions of Destiny 2. What we found out now from the live stream is that there's this new villain that people are calling Gary for short, some big turtle guy.
Yep.
And what he is essentially, from my understanding, he thinks he has a right to the powers that the Traveler has bestowed upon the Guardians.
Yes.
So he's fighting out of jealousy to get those powers for himself. So he's going to destroy the Guardians so he can have all the power for himself, which I think is a pretty good motivation for a villain.
Yeah, for sure.
What you eventually find out is, well, actually, when it first starts, the live stream, you see that the Traveler has bestowed upon these Guardians almost immortality, essentially. Because you see the Titan guy fight and be revived and die and come back to life so many times, which I never knew was canon, I guess, or whatever, because obviously that happens in the game.
Right.
But they never addressed it.
It isn't really addressed. I mean, you start off getting woken up by one of those little
ghost
guys, which last time I played it, so the voice was Tyrion Lannister from
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage, and I'm before Tony got here, and even now still playing the one of the new strikes. They have the new ghost voice, and it threw me off so
Nolan
bad.
North.
Yeah,
I believe. I
was like, what is going on? So different.
Yeah, so look, we've taken a long hiatus from Destiny. So what happens? So he destroys. So very similar to the Thor Ragnarok trailer, a villain comes, destroys the home of these people.
Mm-hmm.
So now the tower is gone, which is interesting that you get to fight in the tower.
I thought that was a cool bit to it, because I know a lot of people are disappointed that they don't get their loot to carry over or anything else like that. Some people were upset about it.
I understand some people are upset. I would think it's a stupid reason to be upset.
I mean, I think it's ridiculous that you would expect it to still be there, just because, like, how would that be fair to any new player ever? Yeah. It would not be. And if they did keep it, they would just make new stuff that's better. Because what point would there be of introducing new guns if the old stuff is just still way better? So that would happen.
So what I saw in the gameplay of the first mission, which they call Homecoming, all the characters' levels were 20.
Yeah.
Which, later in the interview, I heard that they're starting off from scratch. And, so the Traveler gets taken by Gary.
Which you can see in the trailer.
And now everybody's, has no powers and has no abilities. You have to go through the levels again to get them. I assume, again, you might start at level 20 and then now you get kicked back to, level 1 or something.
Right.
Or maybe 20 is just the base level now. And you have to get to, level 40 or 50 for in-game.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work, because they did show, Guardians, stumbling, and how, once, the big, ginormous ship thing that, attached to the Traveler, it initiated this, shield, and that cut you off from all the powers.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that brings you down to level 1, and obviously you lose all your powers, so I wonder how long it goes where this is, just a standard shooter where you only have your guns, and you don't have any powers.
They did change it, and after we stopped playing, the Destiny is now based on light level, so you get the light from the Traveler. So it makes sense that once they put that, I'm going to call it a shade on the Traveler. Sure. If they put that term in the game, I'm going to be really happy.
Yeah.
But they put that shade on the Traveler,
I'm sure it's polarized,
which takes your light away.
Yeah.
They did say, I know there's a small little clip that I saw between the Guardian that you play as and the Titan Grandmaster, where he's like, I see you have some of your light back. I hope everybody else can experience that too.
Yeah, that was in there.
He doesn't have any. Akora and Cade and Ivanka don't have any. So instead, it's the Guardians that have it. So how they explained it was, there's the 3 leaders, the Hunter, the Titan, and the Warlock, and they all go to these 3 different planets. And they're all kind of doing their own thing, which I find is interesting. They bring this certain characterization to these characters that we've known for 2.5 years, but have really no experience with them, other than you talk to them and they give you things to do.
Right, and that's it. So I ignored any exposition that they had because I didn't care at the time.
Right. But now there's a reason to care about these people, and I'm very interested to see what happens. They have, again, Nathan Fillion as Cade, which I think has always been as Cade, but I'm not sure. But when you have someone as charismatic and as noticeable as Nathan Fillion as a voice actor, you expect a lot from that.
Sure. Yeah.
So, this back to a point that I wanted to say a long time ago.
Okay.
Again, to mention, for the upteenth time, we've stopped playing Destiny for a long time.
We have.
Before, or after we stopped, they introduced 3 new tower systems.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the original tower that has the Traveler there.
Yeah.
Or 2 new tower systems. There's another home base on like an asteroid comet place.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And then there's another one that they came out with the last update, where it's like old Siberia. It's like an ice-capped mountain. And that's like the tower too. So there are all these home social bases.
Yeah.
And what I don't understand is in the trailer, you only see that the tower is destroyed.
Right.
So I'm like, what about all these other places?
Wonder if they're still there.
Are those gone? Or like,
can you access them?
Because what they ended up showing was there's now a new base of operations. It's kind of like a rundown, old Russian
in the European
town.
dead zone.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, EDZ.
EDZ. So I like that aesthetic, and I like the way it looks, but is that the only place that you have a social hub, or are there going to be the other 2 still?
I'm guessing that they'll expand on the social hub thing. And I think without the orbit, too, like that's another thing that I'm really happy that they did, was they're taking away the orbit function.
The need for orbit.
Because
I think orbit still exists.
Because that was just, like, really annoying. Like, I remember there was a lot of downtime, like, I'm just sitting in orbit waiting for my friends to get on, and then loading and all that stuff. It's just, like, one extra step between you and doing something, like, to go somewhere. So that was always kind of, like, it wasn't terrible, but it was kind of annoying, so I'm glad they're taking that out.
So what they showed was now they introduced a map. Finally, they introduced a map to these planets, because there's never since has existed. Has there been a map for these planets?
Yeah.
And now you can go to the map stage, and you can tab over, and you can go to essentially a fast travel location.
Yeah.
Go planet to planet, or different dropping points on these planets, as opposed to going to orbit, then going somewhere else. Or specifically, like, if you're on the moon, and you want to do Crota's End, you have to go to the moon, do some stuff, pick up some helium filaments, then go to orbit, then go to Crota's End. Yeah. Now you can just, I assume, either go straight there or like walk up to the entrance.
Yeah, I mean that's what it looked like to me when they open up the map, that there will be like almost quick travel. Like if you're on one side of the map, you could probably just warp over to the other side, which was cool too, because they talked about like real-time events. And, like, those things happened all the time when we were playing and, like, doing random stuff.
The public events, yeah.
The public events, and it just sucked, because sometimes you'd log in and then, you watch them kill them and you didn't get to participate, or you're, like, waiting for one to happen, so you're just, like, doing rounds, killing, like, really low-level guys, and you're, like, wasting your time. And now you'll be able to see it, and it said there will also be a timer, too, that you can tell, like, how long it's going to be to the next one. And all that is just, like, more information to help me do more fun things with my time, as opposed to waiting around, which is, again, with the orbit thing and now with this, I think it's a really great change. It's like something simple that they could change that they did that is going to be nice.
There is I guess we can go more into, so between the 2 of us, me and you, we have 2 different focuses when it comes to Destiny.
Yes,
yours is always PvE, mine was always PvP.
Yes.
So I figured we'd go into PvE first.
Sure.
And talk about things like that. Now, I was watching the live stream, I'm like, man, this looks really cool. I'm really excited for this game. Yeah. This looks like a lot of fun. I'll definitely get this game. And then I remembered that you have to go from level 1 to level 20 before you can really do anything. And then I remembered, you have to do that with all 3 characters.
If you want the different classes.
Yeah. So you have to go do all the missions at least 3 times over. And that's still a big issue for me, where I'm like, I don't know. It's a good thing to do to understand your character and to progress that way. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to do the same missions over and over again. Sure. So I'm really hoping maybe you have the missions and you can do them with one person, but you aren't required to do them with the other 2. Yeah. And you can level up different ways, because you could used to level up, I think, in PvE or PvP. You could. It took longer. It took so much longer.
It did.
But I don't know, like...
But you got Crucible, like, credits or whatever it was.
Yeah,
that you could trade
not when you first started, I don't think. I think there wasn't much. I remember Destiny from the very beginning differently than I remember it now. Yeah. But that's still, like, a huge drawback for me. Like, have you thought about that? What do you think?
Well, like, again, we come from different perspectives. For me, Crucible was, like, None of my friends are on.
No, I'm talking about the PvE, like
leveling
doing
up?
the new characters every single time.
Oh, I mean, that's always just a thing with Destiny, and I know when I didn't get I don't even think I got all my characters to level 20. I think because I had a Warlock first, and then I had a Hunter, which is what I like the best, and then I ended up getting a Hunter to level 20, and then I never got my Titan to level 20 because I just didn't care. I would rather just do all the high-end stuff with my Warlock. And then if I'm done with that, I'd use my Hunter. Mm-hmm. And then by that time, I'm tired of playing, so I'm going to take a break for a while. So for me, it wasn't a huge deal because of that. But I think if they would have made it easier to get to the max level, I would have done it with the other characters. I just remember feeling so terrible going from high level strikes and the raid to then being a level 10 Titan running around and
trying to level up.
It just seems like taking so many steps backwards with that.
Yeah. They've implemented some new PvE things on the maps themselves. The treasure hunts, the other missions, things like that.
The unknown zones, which are dungeons.
Yeah, I can't remember all the titles, but there's 4 different things.
It's it has that symbol that the dude on stage is wearing.
It's
a shirt.
cave.
Yeah, it's 2 arcs with a dot in the middle. Yeah. Looks like a paint brushed on. But apparently they're dungeons with loot at the end, and there's a boss.
Yeah,
and they're all unique.
10 to 15 minutes too, so it's super quick. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, and it just enforces the exploration part of this and how they're talking about how they want to reward those single players, but also the groups who want to just go and explore. And you like exploration. At least you did in Horizon Zero Dawn. You loved exploration in that.
Yeah.
I think Destiny has in the past. I remember when I first got it, I thought the game was beautiful, the way that they portrayed it all and the artwork or the skins and everything just looked really nice. And I hope that it continues. I was a little bit disappointed. They showed all 4 planets in it, and they all looked pretty cool, except for I think it was Io.
They didn't show Earth. They didn't show very much of Earth.
They just showed the EDZ thing.
Yeah, they didn't show any of the actual places where you can go.
I felt like Io looked a lot like, what was it, Venus? Or
Venus was kind of the floral.
It was floral and yellow and rainy, and that's almost exactly what
green hazy
Io kind of looked like. I think it was Io. There's Nessus, which was the Geth planet with Cade.
Vex,
the Geth. I'm playing way too much Mass Effect. That's funny.
Do you remember? I've been trying to think of what are the names. So there's the Thrall. Yeah. And who's Crota's minions? What are they called? Do you remember? Because there's the Vex, which are the robots.
Yeah.
There's the Cabal, which are from Mars.
It's not the Flood.
It's not the Flood. It's the Thralls, but I don't remember what they're called. They're on the moon all the time.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. And I was literally thinking about that because
Oryxes and Crotas.
Because I was it's cool that they're using the Cabal because we didn't get to really see much of them in the last one, with the expansions that I played, at least, I didn't see the Cabal much.
I don't think they're the Cabal. It's the Red Legion.
Right, no, but it is the Cabal, but it's a group of them that are special.
Who said that?
I'm pretty sure that's what they said. Also, they look just like the Cabal.
Maybe. That's not how I understood it.
Literally, the enemies say phalanx on them. I don't know if you noticed that.
I don't remember that either. If you're looking at the Strike, then there's all the old types of enemies still in the Strike, too. But I think the Red Legion, who might be who are the new people, are completely different from these enemies that we're used to. Because you still see all the old enemies.
Right. I just thought that the Red Legion was this group of Cabal who thought that they should get...
I don't think it's the First Order, Justin.
Huh?
I don't think it's the First Order. That's what you're trying to say. It's not like the Cabal or the Stormtroopers in the First Order or the Red Legion. I don't think it's anything like that. Like an elite squadron.
I am pretty sure that it is.
We'll find out.
Look at this. Look at this guy.
Okay, we're watching a clip.
How does that not look like the Cabal?
They're much larger.
The Cabal were huge.
I don't... What does that say? Legionnaire or something?
Yeah.
I mean, that has some of the same... vocabulary as the Cabal did, because the Cabal are phalanxes and I think maybe even legionnaires, but I'm pretty sure from what I understood, the Red Legion was a completely different, maybe even species, but I could be wrong. Because I know they showed a little bit of Gary, he was the main villain, which, again, this is Was there a main villain in Destiny 1?
I mean, the expansions, there were villains.
Well,
I don't think in the vanilla.
Yeah, there wasn't. Because the Vault of Glass...
they were like bosses as you went through it.
Yeah, but the Vault of Glass was so separate from everything else. I remember it was the garden on...
There's a giant Vex guy.
Yeah. But I don't remember anything other than that. But this one, it seems to have like a main core enemy, which is Gary of the Red Legion, the leader of that. But so PvE, they added those new things. I'm excited to see. I don't know. So they said they added treasure hunts, and I don't know how long those are going to last. Yeah. Again, this is kind of something that Destiny does, where they have all this cool stuff when it first starts, but at the end, it's just like, oh, this is all the same stuff I've seen so many times.
Yeah.
Right. So, oh, cool. This treasure hunt might be fun the first time.
You're talking about like the gold treasure chests, right? When we first got the game, there were these treasures that were
oh yeah,
gold
and every level had like 5.
Yeah, but they were all like pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but when we first started, they were exciting.
Everyone was like, "Oh, I got to get them," and then like a week later,
talking about specifically the treasure hunts that they talk about, where I feel like
it's going to be the same every time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a side quest that you go and find someone and they say go to this and you get loot, or if it's a thing where it's like a gold treasure chest where it's always in the same location ish.
Yeah,
and you just go out there with your. So we both do warlocks first. So I find all the stuff in my warlock, and then I speed run it with my hunter because I always do hunter second. Like, is it one of those things, or is it always going to be different? I don't know.
It's a good question.
But I did see, very interesting, there's a side character, a small clip of like a Russian sniper. They didn't have any armor on.
Yeah.
You've never seen him on top of the clock tower or the church steeple or whatever?
And the farmer lady at the European
with the hawk?
Dead Zone, yeah. I thought it was really cool that we got to see humans that were not in gear.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was really
cool. I think you see some in the tower. You do see some in the tower.
Yeah, I guess so.
Some of them are different. But as soon as I saw that hawk owl bird thing, I'm like, that should be an ability for someone that has a fire ability. Kind of like a Phoenix type thing where you can send it out. What are you showing me here?
The Red Legion is a Cabal.
Powerful Cabal Legion led by Dominus Gary.
Ding! One for Justin. I'm wrong a lot, but I wasn't about that one. Hey-o!
Congratulations.
Yay!
You win the episode.
Point to Justin.
Congratulations. Now back to the topic at hand.
I'm glad that I just took over this podcast with that.
All right.
This episode.
Proceed your leadershipness.
Oh, to the next topic?
No, just you're in charge.
Okay. Well, that's it for today. No, I'm just kidding. No, dude. So, I mean, we're talking about a lot of these smaller things. I mean, I am just so... I don't know if it's just like the hype train is coming by and I'm just like, it's like calling my name, but this makes me really want to play this game. Like this whole event.
Oh, we talked about this a couple times. I've talked about this. For me, it's Destiny 2 versus like a Call of Duty. And from what I got from this event was if I don't play Destiny 2, I feel like I'm going to miss out on a lot more than if I don't play Call of Duty. Comparatively when they first come out.
Sure.
Because so many things in Destiny happens, it's kind of like the first person to find it, and then it kind of flows out from there.
Right, people figure it out, figure different ways of doing things.
So, specifically with raids or strikes or stuff, sometimes I would play with people, and one of the guys we play with all the time is like, oh, well, I watched this on YouTube, so I know exactly how to do it. Like,
I hate that. I hated that. That's why I liked the Vault of Glass the first time we did it, because we literally had no idea what to do.
Yeah, we had no idea. I remember the Crota's End, when you fall down and you're fighting the Thrall in the complete darkness.
The Thrall.
We spent like 45 minutes trying to figure out, like, how to do this, how to light these pillars, what happens.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun.
That was so much fun.
And then, when you don't play Destiny from when it releases, you just miss out on a lot of those experiences. Whereas Call of Duty, now granted there's going to be 2 months in between Call of Duty and Destiny.
Right.
So again, I could be tired of Destiny by then.
Yeah.
But Call of Duty is just like, what do I miss out by starting a couple weeks late?
You really don't miss out on anything.
No. And I don't know.
Because it's like, and that's the thing too, everything boils down to time commitment. And Destiny 2 is a huge time commitment.
More so than any other game that's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of any game, because it mimics kind of like aspects of an MMO, which is like, out of all gaming, MMOs are the biggest time sink by far. I know people who have I have like over 2,500 hours on EVE over the course of my life.
Nerd alert!
And I know people who have more than that in EVE, and then I also know people who play Destiny for over 1,000 hours. There's a listener that listened to our podcast who told me about it. He was like bragging about it. So like this game is perhaps the biggest time sink on the PlayStation 4 already for me. Like out of every game I've ever played on PS4, Destiny's already taken up the most.
Now, do you think Destiny 1 you're talking about?
Yeah, Destiny 1.
Do you think they're going to add all these different features and abilities and all these different things in Destiny 2, and the time sync will be a little bit different? Because you mentioned earlier, a lot of the time spent in Destiny 1 was waiting around for other things to happen.
Yep.
And that adds up in time. And if you look at your total time, I wish it would say just time spent idle, and see how many hours I wasted doing nothing.
Yeah.
Versus this one where it seems like you can always do something.
Yeah.
So you can go from place to place. They touched on the guided gaming, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
At first, I was like a little bit hesitant about it because I thought this is kind of dumb because it kind of weighs down clans or like groups to like help out the noobs. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, and I think it'll be good. I mean, this is the guided game and the clan system that they introduced are both intertwined.
There's going to be an Underpaid Gamers clan. We need to talk about the specifics afterwards.
Yeah, we got to get the people
we have
on board.
a clan on Destiny 1
we
that
do.
we need to convert into an Underpaid Gamers clan.
That's true. We got to get everybody on board.
So we'll do that. And then listeners can join as well.
That's true. But with that, essentially, and I like the idea behind this, and I'll explain why in a second, but if you were a single player, a noob, or just like normally a solo guy, and you want to go do a raid, in the last game, you had to go to like third-party websites until Bungie finally put it in their own website to like find a group.
Did they finally do that?
Yeah, I think they did by the end of it.
LFG.com, looking for a group or something like that?
Well, that was, I think it was one of the things they did before it became like on Bungie.net. But essentially, like, it was really hard to find a group of 6 who could play unless you had that many real-life friends who have Destiny that want to get together
at the same time.
And so, it would get frustrating because if one person drops out, what do you do? What this new feature does is it allows new players to essentially look through all the groups doing
an event. It's like a classified ad in the newspaper, right?
Yeah.
So we have 5 people looking for one.
Yeah.
And we're either serious gamers who want some of the experience, or we're willing to have fun and show somebody the ropes.
Right. And the person can look through all the different clans and choose the one they want to be a part of for this raid.
Yeah, for the mission.
And what that does, too, is it, first off, introduces people. Like, maybe there's someone who doesn't have many friends who play Destiny, but they want to get into a group. They could use this as, like, I actually really like playing with these guys. I might actually want to join their clan. And it also could go the other way, where it's like, man, this guy was just a real big chucklehead, and I don't want him ever again. So you can not let him in the clan like that. But I think the reason why I like this system is because it addresses the problem in Destiny 1 of finding groups and matchmaking for PvE.
Because Destiny is so about group play.
It is, and this isn't just pure matchmaking.
Correct.
Because they put that choice on there, and the fact that you can go in, like, you have 5 of your friends already, you just need one more, like, you have control over the situation a little bit more than you would in just, like, plain old matchmaking. So with that extra level of choice, I think we'll still get trolls, you'll still get people who just want to goof off or want to just throw a wrench in your chain. But
well, the lead director explained that in the interview that we both watched, where he said it's kind of like a Tinder date, where you have the clan, and the clan has a description, like a classified ad.
Sure.
And again, they say, we're serious gamers who are looking for some experience.
Yeah.
So he said when you put that up and someone accepts that, they have a screen that they read that says, you, essentially he explained it as this person that's the seeker, the one person that's trying to join the group of 5, he reads a screen that says essentially, you are joining this clan and they have specific rules and things that they like to do. You're a guest in their house, essentially.
Yeah.
Be wary of that. And then the clan gets a message on there that says, there's a guest coming to play with you. Don't be a jerk, essentially.
Yeah.
And then after that, after the raid is over with, you can rate the system or rate the player itself or the clan or whatever.
Good. Yeah.
Kind of what I assume is like Tinder, although I've never used it, is like, meet this person again, or never talk to this person ever again, things like that. So I assume clans will get specific ratings as well.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I think it's a good solution to the problem.
So if you have a troll that comes on and be like, this guy sucks,
just downvote the crap out of him.
But I also think that, I would assume, that the clan has an ability to like veto somebody off the island if they want.
Probably.
Right? Or the majority of the people.
I would hope so.
Kick them out of their house, essentially. That would make sense to me.
They're a guest, So, yeah, I think it's a really good idea, and I'm really happy. And I'm glad that there's a clan feature. Like,
in-game.
In-game.
I think there's
a clan feature.
I think they added one in Destiny 1, but, again, it's been a while.
Yeah. I like the fact that they're fostering... You can tell from the presentation that they care about the social aspect of the game. They really push that heavily, and they have, like, someone in charge of the social... Like the social lead.
M.E. Chung,
yeah.
I believe.
She came out there and told her story about how much it means to her to have, like, the social aspect of it. And another guy, I think it was the last actual Bungie guy, was talking about how he plays with his younger brother. And they play together. And I was like, dude, that's like me and my brother. Because we play Destiny together.
That's true.
And, there's a lot of college friends, too, that we still play with that I don't get to see on a regular basis. And it's just nice.
We both have a lot of relationships that are just based around gaming.
Yeah.
Which I believe a lot of people have. Like, we played with Daniel from Games and Gaming, and he lives in California.
Yeah, that's true. We met him through
so we live
podcast.
In a different time zone.
We play together sometimes in Overwatch. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. We have a photo war going on with Horizon.
Yep. I thought you won that.
They admitted defeat, and then they said they'd come back, but I haven't seen anything. So I will accept my victory.
There you go.
So anything else you want to talk about in PvE? Anything else that comes to mind? I mean, strikes.
Yep.
Wasn't an unintentional pun, but it's there.
Well, I will say I did just watch, and I watched the majority of it, and then we had it playing in the background. The strike. I just hope that the strikes are all, and I think they did a good job in Destiny 1, so I don't think I should be worried about it. But that they're all unique and they're actually like fun. They're like challenging to an extent, right? I mean, the harder raids did get challenging. I remember there was one with the Crota's End expansion with
the raid or the
Witch. This is one of the strikes that they added.
Yeah.
I hated that one because it's so hard, but you always feel so good when you beat it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that teamwork, and that's what I like about PvE is the teamwork. So yeah, I'm excited for the PvE. I'm excited for the new map system, the jumping around. I'm excited for the raids, like most excited for the raid, and with that that version of matchmaking.
One raid, they said.
Just one.
One raid that comes out with expansion, or comes out with the game itself.
Yeah, and it'll probably be like if they go by what they've done in the past.
It won't be.
It won't be day one, and I'm glad because they're going to be like a group of people that their job is to play video games, and they'll get to max level and beat the raid in like 3 days.
Yeah.
And I won't have a chance to catch up with them, and then by the time I get to play the raid, they'll have it all figured out, and everybody will know. And so I don't want that to happen. I want to be able to go into it fresh with all my friends to figure it out ourselves, all promising not to look it up.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm not looking it up.
I don't want to look it up either. But
I want the challenge, man.
That's a lot of fun.
That's what the PvE is all about.
You have and your teammates.
Yeah.
So the one raid will be interesting. Again, this will be compared directly to Vault of Glass, the first raid from the first Destiny.
Yep.
I hear that the last raid that they came out with Destiny 1 was very good as well.
Yeah.
But the other ones in the middle were kind of so-so.
Mm-hmm.
Strikes were fun. There's always a lot of strikes in Destiny that you didn't see a lot of. You'd always see Fogoth was one.
The eyeball guy? There's like the floating eyeball guy. I did that raid or that strike so many times.
The Servitor at the beginning, like the level 8 strike. That happens a lot. There's Fogoth, who was that giant thrall person in the bottom of the moon. He was chained up in the beginning, remember?
Oh, yeah.
You did that, and you did the witch one a lot.
He's part of the Hive. They're called the Hive.
Hive, that's right. But I also feel like there's like 6 or 7 other strikes in the game that just never really saw the light of day. So hopefully these strikes playlists will be different. PvE wise, I can't really think of anything else.
No, I'm just excited, man. Everything that they added, I think, just adds value to their game. What do you think about PvP?
Oh, baby!
Because you're like antsy right now. I can tell.
I'm not antsy.
Yeah. Okay.
I played Destiny 1 with the intention of doing the PvE so I could do the PvP, and it turns out that didn't work out. The PvE was so much more comprehensive than PvP.
Yeah.
That I played a lot of the competitive multiplayer, but it just didn't pan out. I put much more time into the PvE than I did the multiplayer, which is an unfortunate circumstance for me because I prefer to just smack on some noobs.
Right.
as far as this goes, they've made some very interesting changes that I will be interested to see how they turn out.
Yeah.
One of which is they changed their guns, about how guns work.
Did they?
So, of how gun slots work, essentially.
Oh, yeah, the gun slot thing.
So they have a kinetic, an energy, and then a heavy weapon. Mm-hmm. And at least in PvP, they said that the heavy weapons are essentially the one-shot kill weapons. So your fusion rifles, your shotguns, your snipers, rocket launchers, and grenade launchers. So in the old Destiny, people could run around with a secondary of a fusion rifle or a shotgun or a sniper rifle and use that as much as they wanted to. They essentially toned down the secondary ammo towards the end of the game, so you couldn't get it as frequently.
Right.
But now it seems like they've changed it just a whole completely to where you can only get that so many different times.
Yeah.
And you have your other two weapons that do whatever. They also mentioned in the interview that we both watched and listened to with the lead director that they kind of changed the interface of PvP. Not only did they change how the guns work versus PvE and abilities and things like that, they also mentioned that you'll now be notified when an enemy has their super.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how I feel about that.
When they get the special type of ammo.
That as well. Sometimes they'll say, like, because each level has a call-out, they'll say, the Desert Fox picked up ammo for his rocket launcher in the garden. So now you know where that person is with heavy ammo, which I think is kind of fine. I don't know if I like knowing that they have supers. I really want to see a game mode that doesn't have any supers, because I think that's more competitive.
Sure.
Or just like an MLG variant rule set where everyone has a set weapon, the same type of weapon, no supers, and it's just kind of mono v mono.
Yeah.
And none of that cheap stuff.
Yeah.
Which some people, you could call it super cheap stuff. Sometimes they're fun to use when you're doing it casually. But if you want to get competitive, I know with Trials of Osiris, which is their competitive version of multiplayer, they have supers and things like that. And they have revives, and it's kind of a one-life thing. They also said that Trials of Osiris is not going to come out the day one of Destiny 2's release, but there will be something similar day one. The biggest question mark, exclamation mark, for the Crucible is that it's going to be teams of 4.
Yep, 4v4.
For every game mode. This doesn't make any sense to me, as every other part of the game is a team of 3. So, what I'm trying to comprehend in my head is, raids are 6, but strikes and PvE is all 3. So what I'm trying to comprehend is me and you and your brother, let's say, are a team of 3. We convince your brother that we're going to do Crucible for fun.
Right, which is hard to do.
Yes. Now we have to find another person, either through the guided gaming system or another friend of ours, to play Crucible. Turns out your brother doesn't like the Crucible any much. He wants to do something else. Well, now that other friend that we got has to go off by himself. Right? So why... This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I guess maybe that is similar to how Destiny 1 was to begin with. Because, there's obviously a difference. But there's a max of 6. So you can have 2 fire teams of 3 in for your team. So if you had a group of 6. But now there's always going to be one odd man out if you have a full team of 3. Yeah. And if you have a full team of 4, then when you go do something else, an odd man out. So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think a 4v4 small team mindset could be fine on a competitive scene, but not everyone enjoys playing PvP as much as I do. So what happens when we're playing and we have 2 other people and our friends, and you say, I'm done with this, Tony keeps stealing all my kills, I'm out.
Sounds about right.
Then we get to find another person, and let's say with your charismatic leadership, you take your 2 buddies with you. So now I'm stuck in there by myself.
Yep. Sounds all right.
Because I can't join you because you're on a fire team of 2 people already.
Right.
So now it's going to be a race to see who can join in this instance, the quitter first.
Sure.
So I don't understand the 4v4.
In relation to the fire teams.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
For PvP.
I think that's a valid concern there.
They're going to add more maps, obviously. New maps, new weapons. They showed some new abilities. The Warlock has that sword.
Yeah.
The fire sword, which you can fly up and throw down arcs of fire and hit people.
Yeah. Which looks like the most fun to me out of all of them. is why I want it.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the Warlock.
The Hunter has the arc pole, arc staff, which is
whatever it is.
Almost a 1-for-1 what the arc blade was.
Yep.
From the first Destiny.
It's different animation.
Yeah, so I don't understand why they did that one. And then the Titan has...
the shield. The Captain America shield.
The Void shield. But he also has that barrier that he throws up, you can see, which is a different subclass, I understand.
Yeah.
But I don't understand... I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've been gone for Destiny for so long that I'm not used to the other... Because when Destiny first launched, every class, every character design had 2 subclasses.
Yep.
Or a subclass and a different subclass, right? Mm-hmm. So Warlock had Fire and Void. Mm-hmm. Hunter had Fire and Arc, and then the Titan had the other 2, Void and Electric.
Yep.
Arc. And then later on, they added the 3rd class, so everyone had the same, all 3 types of abilities, but I haven't played with that yet. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's something going on in the Destiny community that everyone's now used to that, so that way when they release 2, they're releasing everybody with, like, their same stuff again. You know what I mean? So the Warlock starts with Fire, and the Hunter starts with Arc, and the Titan starts with Void. But it would just make more sense to me, or I guess I would prefer if the Hunter started with Fire. Or not the Hunter. The Titan started with Fire, because I haven't seen that yet. Mm-hmm. Or the Warlock started with Arc, because I haven't seen that yet.
Right.
Or the Hunter...
With Void.
Yeah. Because I haven't seen that either. So it's more evident to me when I look at the new Hunter, and I see him with an Arc blade-type weapon. I'm like, that's almost exactly the same. Now, I'm sure his other abilities will be the same, but his super... It's just another melee style.
The super should be unique for all of these. We should not have seen any of them before. And maybe we're too quick to judge, but I feel like we saw the super used, and that's like enough to make a judgment
for the Hunter. Everything else looks.
I think the shield looks cool. I think again the Warlock's is the coolest, of course.
The Warlock is very similar to the Titan's fire form, where I believe he flies up and throws hammers. Yeah. I don't know if he flies up, but.
I know you can, like, lob hammers everywhere.
So, maybe they got rid of the resurrection from the fire?
Yeah, maybe.
With the Warlock, but who knows? PvP is what I like. And I don't know if PvE is going to be a means to an end for me to get to PvP or not. There's a lot of variables in Destiny when it comes to PvP, which is why I didn't necessarily like the first one all that much. Because there's like 600 different weapons, and they all do different things. They all have different abilities when you go to PvP. So how do you balance all that?
Right.
How do you do all this?
It's really hard to balance it all. So are you excited for the PvP at all? Or are you more like hesitant to make any judgment?
I mean, I'll play it. I guess I am a little bit more hesitant to make a judgment. The beta's coming out later this year, and you'll get more information on that, I assume, at E3.
For sure.
If you pre-order it. Mm-hmm. But all in all, it looks super good, and like I said, I kind of decided that I'll be missing out on more if I don't play this game versus Call of Duty. But again, this comes out in September, so I'll have 2 months.
You will. Yeah.
So anything else for Destiny 2 related news?
Can't think of anything else we haven't talked about yet. No, man. I think that's it.
All right, that's our take on Destiny 2 so far with what we've been given. I'm sure once we look into more information throughout the current weeks, when we're bored watching YouTube videos, we'll come back and have some different thoughts.
Yep.
We have a little bit of time left. Let's talk about my traitor's ways.
I am so disappointed in you, Tony.
For some reason...
I felt betrayed!
I know. For some reason, last weekend I was watching Halo 5 competition, esports, and I was watching grand finals and stuff. I'm like, this looks really cool. And then a couple days later, I'm like, oh man, I got an itch to play Halo. I've never actually been able to play Halo before and like own it. I've always gone to a friend's house to play it, which is a very different dynamic from having it at your own home.
It's true.
So I never really played the campaign. So I was looking on Craigslist and looking on eBay, like, where can I buy an Xbox One for a decent amount of price? And I was out of town and went to a pawn shop, and they had one there for $160. They were going to throw in Halo 5. I'm like, that's a pretty good deal. I don't really want to commit to that right now.
Yeah.
So instead, called up my sister-in-law. She has an Xbox One. I've mentioned on the podcast before when I played Battlefield 1 during Christmas.
Yeah.
I was not impressed.
You weren't liking it.
No. So I called her up, And I said, hey, can I borrow your Xbox One for a little bit? She said, yeah, sure, fine. I'll gladly let you borrow it. Thanks, sis. So then I buy Halo 5 from the pawn shop for $12.
Nice.
Which is an incredible deal.
That's a good price.
I don't know when Halo 5 came out, but it's a multiplayer-centered game. And normally those games are like $40. And the benefit of borrowing an Xbox is that she already has Xbox Live.
Yeah.
So I don't need to pay $60 just to play online.
Nice.
Go over, take it, bring it home, and set it all up. And holy crap, do the menu systems on that system suck. I do not understand how to get anywhere. So, like, there's a bar on the left that kind of has your recent tabs, but everything in the middle where all the games and everything are is just, like, one huge ad. I don't know how to use it. It isn't. There's, like, a small indicator of what game you're playing. I guess compared to the PS4, it has a list of, like, the last 10 games you've played. You can click on any one of them, where you have folders of things. And then if you go lower, that's where it has all the ads. But generally, it's pretty
simple.
Because you put a game in, and it says, this is where the game is, click on that to play.
Right.
This one just, man, it was awful.
Yeah. I remember my first experience with Xbox One Userface, and I was like, I hate this. That's like all I thought.
It was so
that's what I felt with the
frustrating.
360 versus the PS3. Like, the Xbox 360s...
I thought they were pretty good.
With for a while they had the shifty...
Yeah, the tabs.
The tab guys. I don't know. Something about the simplicity of PlayStations that I like.
My Xbox that I'm playing on, I immediately sent she's very careful with her system, so when she gave it to me to borrow, she put it in the box that it came in. Yeah. And then I sent a Snapchat to you, so look what I got. Made it look like I bought an Xbox One.
I know.
Because I was asking you if I found a Craigslist ad by your house, if you can go pick it up. Yeah. And I have not yet.
And I think you said something like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
Yeah.
And all I went was, betrayed.
So I've been trying to play Halo. Turns out that a couple months ago, they released the Master Chief Collection for their gold membership, just for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what she said. She had it, so I downloaded it and started playing. And first of all, if they're releasing games like that on the gold membership, they're blowing the crap out of PlayStation.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal right there.
Because that's 5 different games. Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo ODST, and Halo 4. That comes with multiplayer. If they're releasing that for free with their gold membership, that's insane. Yep. But let me talk about my experience with the anniversary, because I've not gotten to Halo 5 yet. Technically, currently halfway through Halo 3. And as I mentioned before, I never played the campaigns on these. So I have some thoughts from someone that's playing these in 2017 as versus 16 years after Halo 1 came out. Right. It came out in 2001 alongside my favorite game, Smash Melee.
Quest.
Smash Melee.
Smash Melee. There you go.
I don't know when Dragon Quest came out. Dragon Quest 8. So Halo 1. They remastered Halo 1 with new graphics and things.
They did.
And
you can switch back and forth.
You can switch back and forth, and you press that. If on the PS4 controller, it's the share button. Yeah. On the Xbox One, as far as I know, it's the switch graphics button. Because I don't know what else it does. But the graphics in Halo 1 Remastered are honestly not that great. For a game that came out, I don't know, 2-3 years ago with remastered graphics, I was expecting more. You could play those graphics on like a 360. Maybe they remastered it for the 360 and they just threw it in with a disc. I don't know the original remastered of this. So I was playing the game through, and there's no way to change the audio levels on it. So a major complaint I have is sometimes the music and the gunfire is too loud. I can't hear the dialogue. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. There's not a lot of direction in this game, in Halo 1. So a lot of time I'm just running around trying to figure things out. It's very frustrating. I think it's more of that's just the era of games at that point.
Right. And I was thinking the beginning of that game is a lot harder towards the end. I think it gets more linear the longer you get into it. I just think the first mission where you have to like rescue all the teams from the Pillar Bottom, I remember just like driving around that place forever because I didn't know where to go. Yeah. It does get more linear, that's true.
I did watch a comparison video titled that Halo Anniversary ruined the flood in Halo 1. And he pointed out some things where the new graphics lighten up the atmosphere and take away some of the fog because the render settings when the Halo first came out were not so great. Now they're much better. So now you have a further render distance. But that also kind of takes away the claustrophobia of fighting the flood.
Yeah, it was sucks.
So now in the remastered, there's no more claustrophobia. They kind of changed some of the music, I think. Or I guess what I'm experiencing is, and we've talked about this before, Halo has an awesome soundtrack.
Yes.
It's incredible. For multiplayer, for campaign, not so much. There's a lot of times when I'm playing something, and there will be an interesting riff come on, and it's not like a crazy awesome guitar riff. It's kind of like a slow melodic thing, and I'm like, in a firefight, in a Banshee, for part of the campaign, I'm like, why is this so slow and melodic when I'm like terrorizing the skies? And that's the intention. Sometimes it has a classic Guitar Hero riff, that main chorus that you expect, that you hear all the time. But did I say Guitar Hero? I meant Halo.
You did say Guitar Hero.
But I don't know. Sometimes the music takes me out of the game. I'm like, I don't understand why they aren't going for a creepy tone when they're trying to have a creepy setting with the Flood. There's not a lot of things that are explained in Halo 1, and I would like them to go further into detail. Yeah. There's one time when before you meet the Flood, I believe, you're walking out on you're in this new location, it's all snowy. And Cortana's like, oh, it looks like their environmental thing is broken down, or they built it like this on purpose. That's the amount of story you get for that. You never find out who, at least in Halo 1, you never find out who made the Halo ring, right? Why they made it this way, or whatever. Yep. I mean, I guess you find out who they did by the end and why they made the Halo rings, but you don't know why they made it specifically different ecosystems. Yeah. Halo 1 was pretty good. It had a complete story from start to finish. It tied it up nicely with a bow. There's some more information I wish they would have gone through, but whatever. Go back to Halo 1. The guy in the video explained that they ruined the Flood in some ways by removing some of the blood stains from elevators and some of the rooms that you first walk into.
Yeah, it was real scary when I was a kid.
So you walk in, you see all this blood, and you're like, there's no enemies here. Who's killed all these people? Because I haven't been here yet.
Because they wipe out a whole squad, if I remember right. You walk down and see all their bodies, and it was blood everywhere.
And then in the remastered version, none of that's there. Really? You can't see any of it. If you switch back to the old graphics, it's all there. But the new graphics, it's not. Huh. So the Flood's kind of not as scary. There is a major cutscene when you first meet the Flood, and the Flood character movement is awful. Like, they are kind of like face huggers with the legs from Alien, and their legs aren't moving, they're just jumping, there's no physics attached to them. And that's in a cutscene, in a remastered version of this game. Like, redo that cutscene, that's awful. Yep. But that's my thoughts on Halo 1. Halo 2, so far, is much worse than Halo 1. Campaign-wise.
I was going to say,
multiplayer is...
Let's be specific.
Get in there.
I have strong feelings about this.
I was playing, and there's no... I was trying to process it. I just beat it literally yesterday. Halo 2 is more like Halo 2 Part 1, and Halo 3 is more Halo 2 Part 2, where Halo 2 ends with no resolution of anything. It's really just a precursor to what's happening next, which I think is a really stupid decision they made as a company, because when Halo 2 first came out, Halo 3 was not on the disc for you to play next. Halo 3, you had to wait years to play. So Halo 1 came out in 2001, Halo 3 came out in 2007, so I don't know when Halo 2 came out. Halo 2 came out probably 2005. 2004, 2005. So at least 2.5 years before Halo 3
What was the next console?
Yeah. So the end of Halo 2, the Covenant leaders, Truth? I don't know, some old guy, is attacking Earth to get the Ark, which will then light all the rings aflame and kill everything, and it will send him on his journey, which he thinks is a good thing. Clearly he's an idiot.
Clearly.
The final words in Halo 2 are Master Chief is flying back to Earth on a Covenant ship, and he says, I'm going to finish this fight. Cutscene, end credits. That's an awful end. Because the first half of the game, first of all, introduces you to the Arbiter, who you play as for an unknown reason. I don't know why they introduced him, because so far in Halo 3 I have not played as him. Yeah. And I don't know if I do or not. Okay. So I don't know why they introduced him. He doesn't seem to have a big purpose in this game, other than maybe just adding filler to the game, because I looked and it tells you how many levels are in each game. Halo 1 had 10. Halo 2 had 15. Halo 3 has 11, and Halo 4 has 10. So Halo 2 is by far the longest. They do have more vehicles and more weapons for you to play as, which is interesting. I guess from a gameplay perspective, it's interesting. From a storytelling perspective, it's crap. I don't understand it. It starts... Well, first of all, the new graphics for Halo 2 are incredible. Mm-hmm. They are spectacular. To a point where, like, they made this game like a year ago. This looks so good. And from Halo 1's remastered to Halo 2's remastered, it's a night and day difference.
Yeah.
So I'm very much was enjoying that. I beat the game, so I'm not enjoying it anymore.
Yeah.
It starts off with a cutscene, and again, I didn't understand if they put this in afterwards or if this is always part of Halo 2. Mm. But it starts with, I think, a Covenant person talking to what looks like a Spartan who's not Master Chief. And he says, I hunt Spartans, one specifically or something like that. Mm. And then they never touch on that in the rest of Halo 2. So I'm like, what the heck was that about?
And I didn't remember that.
And then it starts, I think maybe the first level is the Arbiter, and he's being tried for not protecting Halo from Halo 1.
Right.
And I looked online, he was never even mentioned in Halo 1. But they act like you're supposed to know who he is. Like, what the heck is this?
Bro, I mean, he's just the commander of the Covenant forces.
Yeah, but specifically for that Armada. Mm-hmm. But they never mentioned him, and they didn't really give a lot of backstory in Halo 2 to be why I would care about this person.
Okay.
And you play as him, and you stop a rebellion, and then, okay, whatever. And then you go back to Master Chief, and he's doing his own thing. And then, again, it just ends on this huge cliffhanger. Like, in the middle of a battle, that's just when Halo 2 ends. Like, that's frustrating. But the game looked really pretty, and it's the biggest chunk of the 5 games I have to play, so I'm happy it's over with. Mm-hmm. Get to Halo 3, started that last night, not a remastered version. It's the original version, they just put on the disc. So I go from a spectacular, immaculately looking Halo 2 to a clunky 2007 Xbox 360 game I'm playing with Xbox One.
Nice.
And I'm pressing the graphics button, and nothing's happening. To the point where I stop the game and go online to see if I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
No, they just didn't remaster it.
Huh.
So why would you put out a Halo Anniversary Edition and not remaster all the games? I mean, I assume they're going to Kingdom Hearts route, right? So Halo Anniversary comes out, the remaster Halo 2, not 3 and 4. So that way later they can release 3 remastered, and then when they remaster 4, release another Anniversary. Now it's going to have all 4 of the games remaster on it. They're going to make bank. So they're taking a book out of Square Enix, or taking a page out of Square Enix's book, trying to make money. So far, Halo 3 is much more fun than Halo 2, less confusing, more emotional. I would say it takes place solely on Earth, and the Flood has come to Earth after I just got done with the first Flood level.
Yeah.
We actually just got teleported to a different, to the Ark, I believe, the big old flower-looking thing.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it. I'm kind of feeling like I need to get through these things so I can play the multiplayer. Mm-hmm. But I also want to experience this game because I've never experienced it before.
Sure.
If I played Halo 1 back in 2001 when it first came out, I would probably say it's one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
Halo 2's multiplayer stands alone from the Halo 2 campaign.
Yes. Halo 2, my strong feelings about it that I referenced earlier, was that Halo 1 was so revolutionary and amazing. Like, I remember any of my friends who had that game, like, I was over there.
Yeah.
We were all hanging out. Everyone absolutely loved Halo 1. Halo 2 came out. The campaign was fine, but the multiplayer is what I wish they had in Halo 1, because the multiplayer was amazing with the dual wielding. That was brand new. No game really had ever done that I'd ever played before. And it just kind of expanded on all the fun stuff from the first one. The first Halo's multiplayer is unbalanced. It's very bad. The pistol literally is stupid powerful. And one of my roommates has the Remastered edition, and we were like playing multiplayer together. And every time we got on the Halo 1 map, I just grabbed a pistol. I just hit Y and switched over. And nobody else knew that I was playing with. They were all like shooting me with like the assault rifle. I'm like, what are you doing? And I would just like kill them so fast.
I think the pistol in Halo 5 is super OP as well.
Is it?
A lot of the competition, people use the pistol.
Nice. Yeah, so I think Halo 1 it was like fun multiplayer because, like, again, didn't really have any games like that at the time. But Halo 2, I think, has my favorite multiplayer out of all of them, because Halo 3 introduces like the regenerative
the bubble shields
and bubble shields, and I don't really like that as much.
It's not mono.
I liked Halo 2's multiplayer the best out of all the Halos.
Halo Reach added the abilities, so you have the sprint or the evade or jetpack, stuff like that. I don't have Halo Reach isn't part of the expansion, so I'm not going to play that. Halo 5 is really what I wanted to play the multiplayer on.
Yeah.
And I wasn't necessarily even planning on doing any of the story modes until I saw that she had the anniversary downloaded, and I'm like, well, I got to go through this now.
Yeah.
So what's kind of cool about the anniversary is when you're loading up a level, it'll tell you the par time it takes for people to beat it. A lot of them are 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I don't necessarily take it upon myself to beat those times, but it's a nice indicator of how long I can expect to play on this level. And a lot of times what I'm finding is I can just run past enemies, go to my objective, and continue it that way. Because I'm not playing these campaigns to fight Flood and Covenant and to get headshots and stuff. I'm just trying to experience the story. There's not a lot of story in Halo 1. Well, let me take that back. There's not a lot of cutscenes in Halo 1. There's a lot of story that they tell through the environment.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of dialogue in Halo 1 either. Master Chief says like 3 lines of dialogue. Cortana doesn't say anything. Halo 2, Cortana, well, she doesn't say
that was that little floaty, annoying dude in the first one.
Yeah, 343 Guilty Spark.
Yeah.
He comes back in Halo 3. And I think a little bit in Halo 2. In Halo 2, they changed it up. Cortana now speaks much more frequently. Mm-hmm. It gives the game and her specifically more character, more ties to it. Halo 3, there's now Nolan North is a Marine, and I hear his voice all the time.
Oh, really?
And whenever I'm in a vehicle, I always try to get Nolan North's character in that vehicle with me because I love his voice so much.
You just want Drake in the game, right?
That's right. Because it gives me like this comfort. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know I'm going to be safe because I have...
Because Sully will just come around the corner and save you.
That's right.
In trouble.
So far, I wanted to beat Halo 3 before I got here. I'm a couple levels away. I did not do that. I'm going to go home and beat it real quick. Then beat Halo 4, then do Halo 5. Then, finally, what I set out to do, play Halo 5 multiplayer and see how good and how bad I am. Because I've never had an Xbox system that I owned or had access to at my own house where I feel comfortable and like can really get into it. And as we've talked before, there's not a lot of first-person shooters out there that are really... that in the summer era, there's not really anything. There's Overwatch, but I've been playing that for so long.
Right.
I guess I'm really interested just to get into a new game, new to me, Halo 5. I want to see where that goes.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. I have an Xbox One. I'm not ashamed. Technically, I'm borrowing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not really yours, though. Cool.
That's all I have to say. Destiny 2 was most of this episode than my experience with Halo. Oh, I did want to mention... hopefully Destiny 1 to Destiny 2 will be similar to Halo 1 to Halo 2. Again, both made by Bungie. Whereas there was much more character development, characterization in Halo 2 than there was in Halo 1. Again, Halo 1 was a lot of in-level building, a lot of guesswork, a lot of like leaps in logic and leaps in exposition. Halo 2 and specifically Halo 3, there's a lot of exposition and explains how things came to be and why they're happening. So I hope to see more of that in Destiny 2.
Cool.
That's all I have to say.
I bet we'll get that.
You what?
I bet we'll get that.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. Cool.
Maybe Destiny 2 will be the Halo 2 multiplayer that you desire.
Perhaps. But I really want the PvE. You know that.
God, get that out of here.
Dude, PvE is so much fun. That's all I got.
PvE is very repetitive. And you can say that about PvP. I agree. But there are more variables in PvP than there are in PvE.
Perhaps.
Almost definitely.
Well, I mean, I think there are more varying experiences in PvE than in PvP. So I disagree.
You think?
Yeah.
You never got into a strike where everyone just did the exact same thing all the time?
Yeah, but no, think about how many strikes there are.
9.
How many raids there are.
5.
How many missions there were.
How many missions did you do after you got to level 20?
I did them all once, at least. Did them all twice. That's more than playing PvP on the same 6 maps for 2 months.
We'll have to have this conversation another time.
Yeah, maybe.
We've reached our limit, but I will be willing to debate this with you next time.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Sounds okay. Let's do that then.
If you want to get in contact with us, you can tweet us at UP Gamers Podcast, email us at underpaidgamerspodcast@gmail.com.
True.
Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, Stitcher, all the other podcast services by looking for Underpaid Gamers. we have a website, underpaidgamers.com. Thank you for listening to our review of the Destiny 2 livestream and my thoughts on Halo. Justin appreciates it.
I appreciate it a lot.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it more.
When we create an Underpaid Gamers clan for Destiny 2,
You're all invited.
invite you.
You're all invited.
You're all invited.
All of you.
Well, until we reach the max. I hear there's going to be a max limit of people you can have in a clan.
Well, first come, first serve.
That's right. Thanks for listening. Next, we have some episodes lined up for the future. Again, Justin will be gone for a couple of them, so we're going to pre-record them. One of them is going to be our top 25 American sitcoms, what we think of them.
Which is a reference to last week's episode?
Last week's episode.
Yeah.
Also a reference to a future episode.
Yes.
Called Top 25 U.S. Sitcoms.
Yeah.
There's also going to be our E3 predictions. That's going to come out before E3. Where we'll make a game of it somehow.
We'll figure it out.
We'll score based on...
We'll get a scorecard and see how it goes.
That's all. I think that's all I have on the docket.
All right.
Look for those 2 episodes.
Sounds good. Well, stay classy, everybody.
Yeah.
And see you guys next time.
Bye.